What's going on, guys? It is September 7th, 2023. Today's video is going to have clips from the 6th and the 7th. I didn't get around to posting a video on the 6th, so yeah, today's video is going to have clips from both of them. So, not sure what you're going to get first. I'm going to decide, so take a look. All right, we got a no cooling call. I had already been up there and I checked the thermostat. There's no 24 volts at the thermostat, so I checked the breakers that are in that space. Nothing was tripped, and I know that this unit up here, what's this code? There we go. And I know this unit is a RTU, so I'm getting the key for that space and then going up there to the roof. Yeah, we take care of this building, so I know it pretty well. All right, going up. Yeah, I believe this is our patient here. Disconnect this plugged in. All right, let's get the panel opened up. We'll see what's going on. All right, so just open this up. First observation is the low voltage circuit breaker is not tripped. So we're going to test high voltage, then low voltage. All right, I have no high voltage, and as soon as I lifted that disconnect again, I heard a crackle. So I got a feeling we have a bad disconnect here, or at bare minimum a bad fuse, whatever the hell it's called, the pull. Let me just check right now, see if it made a connection. Yeah, see, it's not there now. So, yeah, look at that. All right, let's pull that, take a look at it. And she's a little eat up. She's a little eat up. I don't think somebody had it plugged in good, because I got it hammered in there good now, and I got a good solid connection. Probably still recommend replacing this disconnect, but we got voltage now and I'm shaking it, trying to get it to malfunction, and it's not. So somebody probably didn't plug it back in properly last time, but we're still going to recommend replacing the disconnect. You know, it is wore out, had a little bit of charring on it, so get him a new disconnect. Oh, one thing, it is hot as hell up here for September. I mean, it's probably 90 something degrees up here. We're definitely not done with summer yet, that's for sure. Man, it's hot. All right, everything is on and running. Make sure it's not going to trip out again. We come back. Oh, we got a bell going off. Looks like we got it in there good. Yeah, easy stuff on that one. We'll go back with a new disconnect. I got it hammered in there real good right now, so I don't think that's going to be an issue anymore. I really think someone didn't put it back in good enough last time, but where it's eat up a little bit there, we'll go ahead and replace it. But next we got a unit, they said froze up, and it's leaking all over the place, so let's go take a look. And I'm on this next one here. I just talked to the guy. He's got someone meeting me here, but he said it froze up, and I said, all right, did you shut it off? Oh, no. I didn't shut it off. Okay, well, yep, I got here and it's froze up. There's no disconnect outside either, so people haven't got here yet. So I'm gonna pull the wire off the contactor or something, at least so it starts to thaw out until they get here. There's apparently 2 units they want me to look at. I hear you, dogger. Froze up. We got it pulled pulled off there. I'm actually surprised this hasn't had a low voltage short yet. All this wire is showing. Bunch of bare wire here. Wow. I'm very surprised this hasn't had a low voltage short yet. I'll let it stay off for now. Said he has another one he wants me to look at back there. Different house. Just wants me to give it a once over, look at everything on it. We'll wait for this person to get here. Get inside and see exactly how bad this thing's froze up. It's a single wide trailer. Chances are it's a mobile home furnace in there. I'd be willing to bet a mobile home furnace with a coil. Of course, I've been all outside the perimeter. I don't see a gas tank out here anywhere. Unless it's buried somewhere and I'm missing it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't see gas or oil. A lot of times I'll do an oil furnace in these single wides with a furnace cavity underneath. I just don't see any tank out here. Like I said, maybe it's buried and I'm missing the fill tube. I don't know. I don't see it. Hopefully these people aren't too long. Pretty decent freeze up here. The whole coil's froze. Hey guys, what is it? Are we scared? Oh, we're scared to death. A fourth one went running somewhere. That's all right. I'm not gonna bother you. Oh. All right, we got her thawed out. This thing's in really bad shape. We'll hook up to her, hook gauges up to her, and see what she's doing. We've got a ridiculously high head pressure because our coil is just bad shape. You see that in there. It's all disintegrated. A dog's been peeing on this or something. I'm not wasting my time on this. Guys, I hate to be like that, but it's, I mean, it's true. We got a unit that was froze up. The customer did not ever think about to turn off. And then I get out there, the unit is badly deteriorated, and yeah, my head pressure was almost 300, suction pressure 40 something, so it's not transferring heat, and chances are it's low on charge. I didn't even break out the leak detector, so it might be even leaking from that deterioration. So I told the customer, we'll get you quotes on replacing this system, because it's not worth, you know, putting any money into it. And, you know, it's really not worth the time. That system's old. It's wore out, you know. I'm not going to make attempts on repairing that system. So, and then have to marry it and deal with it on Saturdays and Sundays and after hours when the thing's not working right. So, and not to mention it cools a double wide trailer, you know, or I'm sorry, a single wide trailer. So it's a tin box out in the middle of a field. So it needs, yeah, so, but anyway, yeah, guys, no rest for the weary, though. That's why I hate being on call. I mean, I love my job, and I love making content for you guys, but I despise being on call, especially in the summertime. I mean, it's tough. You know, you get called out all weekends. You know, get get called out at night, don't get, I mean, I've been on call, I've been taking a turn on call for 20 years now, so I am used to it, but it does suck. I mean, it's bad. But I got some information on the next call I'm going to. It's apparently a York RTU, and it's throwing a bunch of codes. Freestat error, low pressure error, and something else too, but it had to do with either low pressure or freeze. So I'm wondering if maybe it threw a belt, maybe it really did freeze up, maybe it got clogged filters. Usually these errors, when they pop up on a York Predator RTU Simplicity board, all those errors usually coincide with each other. So we're gonna go by there, we're gonna take a look and see if we can get them going. All right, here is our patient. The blower's running. Let's take a look at these error codes. So we got freeze protection disabled, bad sensor, okay. Evaporator coil temp 1 sensor failure. Compressor 1 lockout due to coil freeze. And then compressor 2 shut down due to low pressure. Okay, filters aren't bad. It's the first thing I want to check whenever I got that many errors. The belt is floppy, but not so floppy where I think that's an issue. Find our coil sensors. Yeah, see, here's the freestat. Oh, see, look at that. That's broken. Okay, so that's one problem. That's the freestat problem. See if we can find anything else. This cap is missing. This cap is missing. What did we have? All right, so I went ahead and fixed this sensor here, but started it back up to see what sensors or what errors cleared, and I still had a compressor 2 shut down due to low pressure. So I have lost all my refrigerant out of compressor circuit number 2. So what I've done is I bypassed it for now and disabled compressor number 2 to get that going, to see if there's any other things before I really dig into this. So it looks like I'm looking for a leak on compressor number 2, bare minimum. I don't see any oil really. I can tell there's been a rub out here before, right on the door of the unit. I don't see any very much oil right now. Somebody's stepped on this or something. Can't really tell if anything's oily inside here or not. I'm not sure how much refrigerant is left in it. I'll get out the sniffer. Micro channel coil, condenser, tube and fan evap. Yeah, that, like I said, that belt also is foobarred. Maybe I can tighten it up. All right, so we're in our startup delay. Let's see if it starts. So in looking at this, Y2 isn't even wired. We have W1, W2 isn't wired, Y1G, nothing on Y2. Yes, so why Y2 is not wired. Now, is it jumped here? I wonder if somebody has jumped these two contactors together. That's weird. They don't have that wired. Might have to talk to the other guy that's been working on this thing. We're still in a startup delay. No error code so far. All right, here we go. We're running now. It is very strange that Y2 is not hooked up. Very strange. All right, yeah, we're not even wired for Y2. I'm gonna go downstairs at the thermostat and see if it's wired down there. And we only have an 8-wire coming up here. So W2 and Y2 aren't hooked up. Look like just a standard T6 2 heat, 2 cool, or 2 heat, 1 cool thermostat down there. So I'm about to find out how it's wired and how it's even set up. But it doesn't matter if circuit 2 was hooked up or not. If it goes into a low pressure lockout, it will shut the whole system down. The system doesn't know or doesn't even care if you have it wired. All it knows is its pressure switch opened and that's bad. So it'll shut itself down. So let's go see if Y2 is wired downstairs. You can see here Y2 isn't even wired here. All right, yeah, so basically we got to go back there and do a leak search on that second stage. For one reason or another, the second stage was never hooked up. But when we go back, we're going to hook up the second stage. We're going to look for a leak, fix the leak, and get that unit back going again. So, all right, let's move on to the next. All right, we have a bad blower in this. It's off. Another technician came out and diagnosed this. I'm actually doing 2 of these today. So, model number AHE30B3X H21B. The system is from 2016. And here is the blower motor for it. All right, let's get it opened up. Get this pulled out of there. These are pretty easy. It's got a couple plugs here. I believe, no. Okay, so it is a belly band, so a lot of times they'll put the bracket right on the motor, but that is not the case this time. But there's not even any screws. Well, there's one screw on this side, no screw on this side, and then the bracket right here. The whole thing will pull out. Sometimes you got to be careful with this bracket here because it will, if you leave it in there, it will get tucked in to the blower housing when you go to take it out or put it back. So it can be a pain to get that thing in and out. So, all right, we got it unbolted here. I'm gonna pull it out a little bit to get to the wiring here. So basically we have a plug here for our high voltage and our common. We pull that right off, and then these are our speed taps, so we're hooked up to 1 and 3 here. So 1 and 3, and our motor is loose. I'm gonna pull this right on out of here. Right, so this shaft is pretty rusty, so we're gonna want to take some sandpaper and sand that down. All right, 3/8. And after we sanded that shaft down, it came out pretty easy. I flipped it on one end and just kind of pushed the shaft right out. So we got to get our belly band off here, which this kind is nice because it's all one piece. A lot of times you'll have your brackets separate from your actual band. It makes it kind of a pain because you got to line everything up, but this is all one piece. So we want to take notice of where the bracket is installed at. So a lot of times there'll be a groove right along here somewhere, but looks like we're about, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch underneath of our vent holes. So we'll take that into consideration when we put the new one on. See, here's that groove I was talking about right here. So it was actually more towards the middle of the motor. So makes lining it up more easy. All right, we want to make sure our electrical connections are not covered by one of these brackets or anything like that when we put it on. Same when we put it back, we want to make sure our electrical connections are facing in the way where the wires are going to be. So just make sure we take all that into consideration. All right, we're tightened down over here, positioned right. Now we just want to make sure we position our blade right. Make sure it's not going to hit anything, and even on both sides. And we'll tighten our set screw down over here. Whee! All right, got our motor just set kind of in place now. I'm gonna hook up our high voltage. We're gonna hook this right back up exactly the way it was. Let's look at our speed tap here. So we were hooked up on 1 and 3. I want to look at this and just make sure all that's right. It sounds like she took right off. I turned it on expecting to wait a few minutes until the system came on, but it took right off running. So I'm gonna put the rest of these panels back on. We'll test her out. Hey guys, just finished up with 3 calls out here at this complex here. Some government housing, government funded housing. We do a lot of this government funded housing stuff. One company in particular that owns a ton of properties in our area we work for, and a lot of guys don't like this kind of work. A lot of the houses sometimes are dirty, the tenants can be jerks and stuff like that, but they pay just as good as anybody else does. They pay our rate, they don't get a special discount, and honestly it is a ton of work. So one thing about, if you get newer government housing, the equipment really isn't that bad because they're putting in mid-tier equipment. They're not putting in, you know, base model stuff. So you're working on like 16 SEER stuff. You got ECM blowers. Sometimes you have 2-stage furnaces and stuff like that. So it's not all bad. I mean, sometimes the work conditions can be bad inside a nasty home or something like that. But the equipment is relatively newer, and it's higher efficiency equipment, so it's not all bad. And you know, these people just want someone to call and come work on their stuff and fix it. We usually never have a problem with getting quotes approved or anything like that. So usually it's never an issue. But yep, I'm going to check the schedule. I think I'm almost done for today, but we'll see. Yeah, guys, that's it for this one. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new here, and go ahead and share the video. Share it across all your platforms if you want to. Facebook, Reddit, Instagram. I'm thinking about making different pages for Jeff's HVAC Adventures, but go ahead and share my videos, guys. I love when you guys get my stuff out there. I really appreciate that. So, but all right, guys, I'm gonna catch you on the next one.